Greetings from the Arcturians. Greetings from the Arcturians. My eyes were just drawn to the title of this video from Midas Touch, this news video from Midas Touch Network from 3 hours ago. As I'm doing meditation, that's why I've got my headphones on. And the title of this news video from Midas Touch say, Trump plans surrender. I'm getting, he will not surrender. Trump will not surrender. This is not about Trump surrendering, or this is not about Trump's surrender. Anyway, that's the video title. That's the title of your video because you're watching me as well, Midas Touch. Ben from Midas Touch, you're watching me as well. Anyway, and then the title says, all right, okay, let me just say the title. Trump plans surrender after Putin $28 billion Iran nuclear deal. And the Galactics and Commander Ashtar and the Arcturians are telling me that they have something to say about that, about the Putin-Iran nuclear deal or Russia-Iran nuclear deal. Or let's just say Putin-Iran nuclear deal. They're saying it will not happen. The nuclear deal between Iran and President Putin will not happen in reality. Again, this is just a farce, they're saying. And of course, that's how Churchill talks. That's how Churchill speaks, Winston Churchill. So the spirit of Winston Churchill is coming through again here. And yes, he's saying, I'm here. Yes, I'm here. So now I'm channeling the spirit of Churchill again here. And that's the message coming through from the spirit of Winston Churchill. That this nuclear deal between President Putin and Iran is a farce. It will not happen in reality. Churchill, Commander Ashtar, and the Galactics and the Arcturians, they're saying, and God, which is Allah for Muslims, because Muslims are watching me as well. Some Muslims are watching me as well. Muslim celebrities from Bollywood Muslim superstars. Yeah, right, I'm getting who they are, but anyway. I know who's watching me. So, yeah, that's why they're saying that none of these men in power, like President Trump, President Putin, Mujtaba Khamenei, the current supreme leader of Iran, Mujtaba Khamenei, Ali Khamenei's son, IRGC of Iran, Prime Minister Netanyahu, none of these men in power will surrender. And that's why we need to let the Galactics in. That's why we need to let the galactics in. I repeat, and that's why we need and we must let the galactics in. We need to let the galactics in, and we must let the galactics in. Because our world is going to shh. If you know what I mean, if you know what I'm trying to say. And I've already making this statement, and this message has already been coming through here, through me, that our world is in danger. And you can see it playing out. Because this war is just spreading out. And it's escalating. Never mind about ceasefires that no one's respecting and no one's really, following. Just no one's respecting any kind of ceasefire. They keep violating it, even if they're talking about a ceasefire, even if they talk about a ceasefire, and even if they put some sort of a ceasefire in place, and then they go ahead and violate it. So there's no ceasefire happening. There's no ceasefire. And there's no peace happening. So there's no peace either. And these men will not surrender. These men in power will not surrender. That's why we need to let the galactics in. We must let the galactics in. That's our only option. That's the only option left for this world now. Because all these men are in their egos. Massive egos. Even the world leaders who are not participating in this war, they're just standing there on the sidelines, letting it happen. They're not playing their part. They're just doing empty speeches, and I don't know what they're trying to do still. Oh, we're going to try and create our own army. Oh, we're going to try and expand our nuclear arsenal. Because now, Europe and the Middle East, they also want nukes for their, protection, and or at least as a deterrence. And that's why I was saying in a previous video recently that, so much for nuclear non-proliferation, because now everyone wants nukes. Now we're moving towards more nuclear proliferation instead of nuclear non-proliferation. Now we're moving towards more nuclear proliferation. So much for nuclear non-proliferation. What have you men in power done? And what are you men in power doing? Even the ones who are not waging war, but then they're not playing their part the right way in terms of bringing in peace. Because they're sitting in their egos as well, just in a different way to the men in power who are waging war. That's why our world is not safe. It's because of these kind of men in power. It's like, as I've been saying, on one side, we have men in power who are just doing evil, waging war. And then we have men in power on the other side who have no backbone, who are just cowards, like they need to grow a backbone. But they're not. I don't know, they're just scrambling. I don't know what they're trying to do. Still, not doing very much really, other than just letting all this happen, letting letting our world be destroyed, and letting all the innocent human beings be killed. That's what the politicians and world leaders with no backbone are letting happen. Still. And that's what they're going to keep doing? And why are you paying attention to the Pope right now? Oh, because he's been watching me too, and he knows that I've been reaching out to you world leaders because you're watching me. And I've also been exposing the truth of Vatican and Pope Francis, the recently deceased Pope Francis, and then now, the current Pope, Pope Leo. So what does the devil does? The devil makes Pope Leo reach out to you politicians, world leaders, and invites you over because the devil wants to lure you in too. Because Prime Minister Netanyahu is being run by who? The devil. President Putin is being run by who? The devil. Baphomet, specifically. President Trump is being run by who? Is under mind control by who? The devil. Baphomet. And now the devil wants the other world leaders who are not trapped with the devil, like the French President Macron, who recently went to visit the Vatican to meet Pope Leo. Now the devil is using Pope Leo, the Vatican and Pope Leo, and his religious status, him being a religious figure, for millions in the Christian world, looking all godly on the surface, with his, princely white robe or gown. That's just on the surface. He worships the devil Baphomet, specifically behind closed doors, just like Pope Francis did before him. The Vatican is corrupt. The Vatican is with the devil Baphomet specifically. Anyway, so, now the Pope, because of me and because I'm reaching out to these world leaders and politicians watching me, to you world leaders and politicians watching me, and I'm trying to bring you to the light, the same way the devil is trying to lure you into the darkness, into hell. The devil is trying to lure you in, to trap you with the devil as well. And he's using Pope Leo to lure in and trap the French President Macron, who's already fallen for it, and he's already gone to see Pope Leo. He's already gone to meet Pope Leo in person. And then I also saw on the news recently that, Canada's Prime Minister, Carney, also called Pope Leo on the phone. So the devil is luring you world leaders in through Pope Leo to his camp, to the devil's camp, because you are spiritually asleep and you have no idea what's going on here beneath the surface. And even when I keep warning you, you're not listening to me because, I don't have a worldly title like you. I'm not a president. I'm not a prime minister. I'm not Pope. So you don't want to pay attention to me, and you just want to go running to the devil. And you want to fall into the devil's trap, just like that, because that's what you're doing, because that's what the devil is doing to you through Pope Leo, and you are falling into the devil's trap. Even when I keep warning you, but you're not listening to me. The French President Macron, has already fallen into the devil's trap because he's already been lured into the Vatican to meet Pope Leo. And now Canada's Prime Minister Carney as well, who's ended up calling Pope Leo on the phone. He's being lured into the devil's trap too. Canada's Prime Minister Carney. And of course, Pope Leo recently visited Turkey and the Turkish President Erdogan as well. So he recently gone and visited the Muslim world as well. To lure in the Turkish President Erdogan, into the devil's trap as well. And of course, to reach out to the Muslim world because, oh, I'm here and I'm trying to reach out to all these politicians and world leaders too. And God is trying to reach out to these world leaders and politicians through me, the ones who are still not in the devil's snare, the ones who still have not fallen into the devil's trap. But the devil is surely trying very hard to lure you all in to his trap as well, just like Prime Minister Netanyahu, just like he lured in and trapped Prime Minister Netanyahu, President Putin, and now President Trump as well. So he's doing the same to you, to the other world leaders and politicians, like French President Macron, Canada's Prime Minister Carney, Turkish President Erdogan. He's trying to lure you into the devil's trap. The devil is trying to lure you, politicians and world leaders, in as well. Now, because some of you are watching me, and so is Pope Leo, so is the Vatican, and some of you world leaders and politicians are watching me too. And I'm trying to invite you over to light, to God. Whether Pope Leo, Pope Francis and Pope Leo, Pope Francis is gone now, but you all went to his funeral. You world leaders, politicians all went to Pope Francis's funeral. And now you're running to the devil because the devil's inviting you over through Pope Leo, the new Pope. He's luring you in through Pope Leo, and you go running? Oh, because I don't look the part, but the Pope does. So you're going to believe him over me. You're going to believe the devil over God. You're going to believe darkness over the light. That's what you're doing. Because I don't look the part, and because I'm a woman, and because I don't have your worldly titles. All right. All I can do is warn, because that's what real, true prophets of God do. We are warners. We warn people about the devil's tricks and about the devil's snares and about the devil's deception and how the devil lures you in to trap you. To trap you into hell with the devil. Because the devil wants your soul, right? So if you're gonna go running to the devil thinking he's God or he's of God, then what do you think will happen to your human, and what do you think will happen to your soul? Something to think about. Food for thought, for sure. Especially for the French President Macron, who went running to the Vatican to meet, or wherever he met, Pope Leo, probably Vatican. I've already told you, you went running to the devil. He's lured you in, French President Macron. The devil has lured you in. He's lured you into, running to the devil, to the devil's human minion, meaning Pope Leo, and meeting him. He's lured you in. The devil has lured you in through Pope Leo, through his human minion. That much by now. And Canada's Prime Minister Carney called Pope Leo on the phone. So he's luring Canada's Prime Minister Carney in too. The devil is luring Canada's Prime Minister Carney in too. And of course, the Pope Leo went to see the Turkish President Erdogan. So he went to visit. That was like symbolic of him visiting the Muslim world. So he's reaching out to the Muslim world too, making it look like whatever on the surface, but someone like me knows what's really going on beneath the surface with all of that. And I'm warning you. I am warning you again. I am warning you, world leaders and politicians, over and over again. When are you going to get it? Or are you going to be lured in to the devil's trap and let the devil have your souls? Do not do that. Do not be lured in to the devil's trap through Pope Leo now. Do not do that. Protect your soul. Protect your souls from the devil and from being trapped with the devil in hell after you die in this lifetime. So stop it, because that's what the devil is trying to do with you. That's why the devil is luring you in, because the devil wants your souls too. Because you're still kind of the light. You're still on the right side of right. Kind of. Even though you're not listening to God, you're not listening to me, and you're not listening to God through me, even though God keeps coming through me with messages and warnings for you as well. But you want to do what you want to do, right? You're just going to end up trapping your soul with the devil then, and in hell. You're just going to end up trapping your soul with the devil, and you're just going to end up trapping your soul in hell with the devil then, once you die in this lifetime. So just back off. Back off when it comes to Pope Leo. Back off from Pope Leo. And having any sort of contact with Pope Leo, whether that's in person or on the phone. Just stop. Because the devil is luring you in to trap your souls. And the devil is doing it through his human minion called Pope Leo. Stop it. Stop it, or you will regret it. Protect your soul. Protect your souls from Pope Leo, from the Vatican, from Pope Leo, and from the devil. Because Pope Leo is a human minion for the devil, of the devil. He is not of God. I keep warning all of you, world leaders and politicians watching me. But this is what you keep doing. First, you went to the funeral for Pope Francis. And okay, whatever, you could go attend his funeral. It's a funeral, whatever. But now, at this point, he's luring you in. And Pope Leo is the bait for the devil to lure you into his trap, to trap your souls too. When are you going to get it? When are you going to see it? You all need to be spiritually awakened too, but I don't know why God is not. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. I am trying to spiritually activate you. I'm trying to spiritually awaken you. I'm trying to awaken you to your soul within your body. I'm trying to awaken you to your souls within your bodies. But If you're just going to keep ignoring me and keep dismissing me and keep thinking I'm just crazy, then, oh, well, all right, well, then I guess you're going to end up being lured in by the devil through Pope Leo. And you're going to end up having your soul trapped with the devil. And you're going to end up having your soul trapped in hell with the devil once you die in this lifetime. I'm telling you. That's what you're looking at. That's what you're doing. That's what's going to end up happening to you, your soul, if you don't back off when it comes to Pope Leo right now. Do not fall for the appearances when it comes to Pope Leo and the Vatican. Because as they say, appearances can be deceptive. And that's very true in this case when it comes to Pope Leo and the Vatican. And I keep warning you. I come as a warner because that's what true prophets of God do. They come to warn the people. And in my case, I've come to warn you world politicians and world leaders as well. Because the devil wants your souls, because you're sitting at the top in power positions. So of course, the devil wants to run you too, just like the devil is running Prime Minister Netanyahu, President Putin, and now President Trump too. So of course, he wants to run you too. He wants to, take over the rest of the world leaders and politicians and men in power too. So he can run you too. Why are you not getting it when I'm actually spelling it out for you over and over again? And this time I am really spelling it out for you in hopes that maybe this time you will get it. Okay, this message was supposed to be about President Putin and Iran nuclear deal, but this is what it turned out to be. And I'm 27 minutes into the recording. I'm going to see if, though they did say something about it. So, yeah, so if there's anything more they give me on that, then I guess I'll just have to record another video and speak more on that. But for now, I'm going to leave this message here. Take care. Stay safe. Over and out.